Hey there, welcome to day 22 of our No Nonsense November. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, sharing lessons learned, life lessons over 6+ decades of living here on planet Earth. And today's is your meaning. What the heck does your meaning mean? Well, it means that you and only you decide what everything means. Now, does that mean we don't interact with other people? No, we got to live in a world with other people and have relationships and things. But absolutely everything, what it means is filtered through and interpreted and determined and decided and actually chosen by you. Now, you might not do it on a conscious level, but you're going to do it on a subconscious level, at least automatically. That means every word, every experience, everything we see, everything we'll even allow ourselves to see or hear or experience is filtered through our subconscious and our conscious, and we decide what it means. If we witness an event, we interpret that event and we analyze that event and we judge that event and we say, well, what does that mean to me? So if we lose our job during COVID, all of us and millions of people lost their job during COVID and were furloughed or laid off or fired or let go or working from home, but their job situation changed. Each and every one of us interpreted and decided and judged and evaluated, well, what does that mean? What does me losing my job mean to me? What does it say about me? What does it say about the situation? And there was a whole spectrum of how people responded and reacted to that, right? Some people were angry and upset and really frustrated. Other people were scared and uncertain and worried about how they were going to, feed themselves and their families. Other people were happy and delighted because it gave them an opportunity to try and do something different. But it was a whole gamut of feelings that the same event had this entirely different spectrum of feelings and interpretations on all the different people that experienced it. I've had health diagnoses and health challenges all of my life, and how I interpret them and what I did with them is different than what other people have done with them. I credit that for why I'm here speaking to you today. I've had lots of times that I could have just thrown in the towel and given up and just curled up in a little ball, taken pain meds, and never interacted with other people in the world. But I didn't choose to do that. Instead of, and this is actually my secret, instead of focusing on the pain and the things that hurt, I flipped the switch. I call it flip switching. I flipped the switch and I said, okay, well, what if I focused on and paid attention to the times when I didn't hurt, when I wasn't in excruciating, 8, 9, 10 level pain? What if I focused on the time that I was at, a 6 or a 7, and then a 5 or a 4 or a 3 or a 2? And by doing that, I actually was able to figure out how to manage and how to live with chronic pain and still be productive and still be able to do things that I wanted to do and create the things I wanted to create in my life, because I chose how I was going to filter the experience, how I was going to look at it, and what I was going to assign a meaning from. Now, each and every one of us, every word, every color, everything we see or feel or do is filtered by us through our past experiences, through our education, through our beliefs and our thinking, our subconscious and our conscious, and all the different senses and things we let in. Now, keep in mind, our subconscious records absolutely everything that we experience through sight, sound, feeling. It records everything. So every experience we have, our subconscious attaches all these different things to that experience and stores them in our subconscious mind. And later on, something happens to trigger or recall that experience, which is why we often behave in the same way over and over and over again when we're faced with a similar experience. So, for example, I've lost my job before. So when COVID came around, I didn't have a job, so it's hard for me to use that as an example. But say you've lost your job before, you've been fired, and then all of a sudden you're furloughed for COVID. The two experiences are probably totally unrelated. The government said, shut your business, and so business owners had to say, I need to send y'all home. That has nothing to do with you, your performance, your past experience, nothing. It's outside of your control. Yet many people assigned the same negative traumatic emotions with getting fired with losing their job during COVID. And guess what? That gave them worse results than if they had stopped and said, okay, this happened. What does this mean? Well, it doesn't have anything to do with me, right? It doesn't have anything to do. It doesn't say anything about my performance. It doesn't say anything about my capability. It doesn't say anything about my confidence or my self-esteem. It just happened. And guess what? Stuff just happens in our life. And as humans, guess what? We assign all kinds of meanings to it that don't apply. If you have ever had a conversation with someone and they said something and you got all hurt and offended, only to find out later on that what they said, you totally misinterpreted. They didn't mean anything near what you interpreted out of what they said or didn't say, right? We blame people and we assign meaning to things they don't do or don't think, or because we just might think that they're thinking that. Anybody ever done that? Of course we do. So keep in mind that it is something that we can control. We can decide what we're going to pay attention to. We can decide what we're going to listen to, where we're going to go, the experiences we're going to have. And then we can decide and realize that we decide on the subconscious, if we don't do it on a conscious level, what everything means to us. Each experience we have, each interaction, each conversation, each communication, each event, even watching the news means different things to different people. Now, I personally found that watching the news in the 1980s was super frustrating and negative and had a negative impact on me. So as part of a training, I chose to not watch the news anymore, which has proven to be a great benefit to my life, right? Because we don't focus on the negative. The news focuses on the negative. Why? Because it gets people's attention. And so if they're always feeding you negative things to get your attention, what's happening when you're not listening to it? Or while you're not listening to it, you are reinforcing the negative things that happen, or someone else's interpretation of things that happen as automatically negative, and they probably aren't, right? As cold and callous as it might seem, people having challenges across the world, tsunamis, or people starving in other countries, does it really impact you on a daily basis? Probably not. But if you watch the news or the media, all kinds of things can get you upset that really don't impact you at all. I mean, our media currently has people convinced in America that we are this terrible racist country. And it's all an absolute positive, bold-faced, manipulative lie. But we can choose whether we're going to believe that or not. If you want to believe that America is a racist country, you can go around and you can find every injustice in your imagination and build it up to make it look like you live in a racist area, a racist country, and that you are a victim. But I say, even being a victim is a conscious choice, and I choose not to participate. So remember, you decide what everything means. Absolutely, positively everything. And I say, you might as well set the meaning up so that you can succeed and be happy. And I've actually got a tip and a tool for doing that, but I've gone too long, so I'm not going to share that. Maybe I'll share it during the Get Up and Go Challenge in December. That would be a great tool to teach people how to define things so that they serve you, not work against you. All right, any questions about this? Comments? I would love to hear them. Do you think I'm crazy and that we really don't decide what anything means? It just happens to us, and we are at the whim and the misadventure of the world, or do we have some control over it? All right, have a great day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with another No Nonsense November. Bye.